Kerri Wise. Welcome to Daily Drive here at the Automotive News booth at the NADA show in Las Vegas.
Thank you for having me. It's so exciting and just I feel full of energy on this floor.
Well, it is. This floor is so full of energy and everyone's having meetings,
Yes.
representing their companies. What is your mission? What is your message as you're here at this NADA show?
Yeah, well, we are excited to launch a brand new product, and really I should describe it more as an expansion of our platform. Many knew us as digital retailing. We gave consumers the ability to shop for a car on a dealer's website, calculate a payment, get a trade value, do everything, and then transition into the showroom. But what we found is that most people still buy a car in the store.
The omni-channel thing. Start online, do your research,
Yep.
but then get in the store to put your hands on the car and make sure you want it.
Yeah, the transaction happens in the showroom, and what we found lacking in a lot of technology is that we weren't really addressing some of those pain points that dealers are facing in the showroom. So we launched our showroom platform. It's desking, it's deal estimation, it's lender routing, it's F&I menu, all in one platform. And really what we see it as is a way to solve some of these major pain points. The bottleneck at the desk.
Yes.
Right? How do we enable either your sales team to do more with some management oversight, right? So that we don't have that back and forth to the desk. How do we help managers make better decisions? So for example, choosing a lender. We have all the data on any given day on the right lender for a manager to send that customer to. And the last problem is that this distrust from consumers. As much of the strides we've made in automotive retail, consumers still come in with that chip on their shoulder. And so we see our technology, our new showroom platform, as a way to kind of bridge that gap with the customer. So we're really, really excited about this showroom platform.
You did some interesting research last year, late last year, about F&I penetration in a digital environment compared with the F&I office. What did you find with that?
Yeah, and that was looking at our digital retailing at the time. Our showroom platform wasn't out at that time, but we found that on average, our digital customers were choosing about 1.5 F&I products on AutoFi, using the AutoFi platform. And when you look at those same set of dealers, they're typically, for a non-AutoFi sale, a non-digital sale, they're selling about 1.48 F&I products per customer.
Pretty similar.
The same, right? And so what that tells us is a lot of times we think of digital as it's going to erode profitability. It's going to hurt our chances to sell more because the customer has too much power, too much control. But we find just the opposite, that when a customer is more involved, whether that be through self-service through the digital retailing, or whether that be by involving them more in the negotiation, in the lender selection while in the showroom, they're more in control of their payment. They're more aware of what it would be. They're working within their budget. So by the time we actually talk to them about F&I products on the back end, they're willing to actually choose just as much and sometimes more than if that wasn't the case.
I'm sure highly paid F&I managers believe they are absolutely vital and necessary. But I know so many consumers, myself included, we go into that F&I office in the defensive crouch. We're like, we're in the corner in the boxing ring just trying not to get hurt.
You say, you know what, I've been in that same situation, and it's almost like I'm trained to just say no. And I think what ends up happening, it's a really good point you bring up, is that through our digital retail and self-service, or even in the showroom, you're allowing the customer to educate themselves, whether they're online, or you're allowing the salespeople, you're arming them with technology to say, let's watch a video on gap insurance, on extended warranty. You're arming them with those talking points on why this is helpful for the consumer. And what we're typically finding, particularly in the showroom, is that we have salespeople who haven't sold cars for very long. I know a guy that came out of an Amazon warehouse. Now he's selling 25, 30 cars a month. And it's not just because he's an easy learner, he's a fast learner. It's because the technology is guiding him so that he's consistent in how he presents F&I products. He's consistent in his approach. The technology gives you those guardrails to kind of keep everybody consistent as a sales team. And so I think that's really critical. this shouldn't replace people. If you're an F&I director, you shouldn't think of this as a threat. I think of this as an efficiency play. How can we move faster? How can we make smarter decisions through technology?
And do you, so with your new platform, do you have any data on what the F&I shopping is like there?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of data that's just kind of broadly associated to the retail experience. So, for example, we find that the average time it takes from the time you check the customer in, let's say they go on a test drive and they check the customer into the system, through the time that they get a lender decision, they're approved for a loan, is 28 minutes. Let me repeat that again, because that might be shocking. So if we look at our dealers that are using the showroom platform, the average time from the time they check that customer in after they come back from a test drive to through the negotiation to lender approval is 28 minutes. You look at the average negotiation to loan approval, that's probably easily an hour and a half. That's easily half of the 3-hour purchase experience. So the number one benefit we're seeing is time, that you're able to move cars faster. And more importantly, you're able to present numbers faster, because we like to say when a customer comes off of that test drive, that is the most excited the customer is, right? They're happy, they love the car, now they're ready to talk numbers, and I have to wait for it. So hit them early while they're excited, ready to go, while their buying temperature is at its highest peak. And you're more likely not only to close that deal, but to hold on growth. So that's number one. The second part is profit, and that ties to the F&I products. We're seeing about $411 more back in profit tied to the F&I products when a dealer is using AutoFi in the experience versus just their traditional. We're looking at the same set of dealers. AutoFi sales versus non-AutoFi sales is an incremental $411 more back in profit. A lot of that's tied to F&I products, consumers choosing those F&I products. But I think it's also just a mindset thing that the customer is a little bit more in control of their own destiny. They're choosing the car that meets their budget. They're choosing the payment that they feel more comfortable with. And you don't have those games being played back and forth to the desk.
Well, being able to speed up the process by an hour is going to make the retailer more efficient, but it also is going to make for a much happier customer if they can get in and out 1 hour faster.
And that's the other part, is customer satisfaction. I always save that to the end because I'm used to talking to car dealers. They're driven by money and time and all of that, but ultimately you're going to get happier customers, right? And that there's a lot of benefit for that. And the other thing that we look at is even loan approval rates in our platform is higher. And so here's the example I give. If I gave you a customer right now, and really, I've tested this with a lot of dealers. It's like, this customer has a 680 credit score. Here's their income. What banks should you send that to the customer to? You wouldn't believe how much guesswork goes into like what banks, right? A lot of times we're influenced by the banks we're just comfortable with. Maybe they've wined and dined us, we've sent us on a concert. That may not be the best decision today. What was good a month ago, based on rates changing, might not be the best decision. So we think of our technology similar to when I want to get directions on my phone. I use Google Maps. I know how to get there. I don't have to use Google Maps. The Google Map can tell me what's happening at any given time in terms of traffic. Lenders are the same way, right? We in real time know the rates that are happening based on this credit band and this credit score. These are the banks, and we'll send that off, bounce it off, and in 60 seconds return back 3 lenders. And I think that's critical to take the guesswork out some of these decisions.
AutoFi is an interesting company, but I also wanted to check in with you about WOCAN, the Women of Color Automotive Network, which you co-founded. What's happening with WOCAN these days?
I mean, Jamie, so much is happening since the last time we talked. I remember when you reached out to us maybe a week after we launched, and we had probably 20 members at that time. We're close to 900 members now.
Wow.
After, I guess that's been about almost 3 years since we launched. And so it's just been such a beautiful thing to see, because we started WOCAN, and me and my other 3 co-founders, really for ourselves. The automotive industry is about 6 to 7% are women of color, so we're probably the most least represented group sector in the
6
automotive.
to 7, not 67.
Oh yes, thank you for clarifying. That's 6% to 7% in that, based on my calculations.
Right.
20% are women. So we're very, we don't have a lot of representation. And so we created the organization for ourselves so we can find more of us so that we can have our own networks, because we have some unique challenges that are at the intersection of not just gender, but also race.
Right.
And so for us, it's been about growing this organization so that we can grow these networks and not just find women of color, but find a woman of color that is a technician or a woman of color that's in tech. And I think we've now grown to a size where women now can kind of find other women that are exactly in their field. What we have expanded to is scholarships. So we've launched, probably 20 plus scholarships where we're sending women of color to events like this. We're helping them with the tools that they need to advance their career, whether that be training, whether that be tools if you're a technician. It's been really important for us to be intentional in helping these women level up in their careers. And the last thing is education. That's going to be our new focus. We actually just partnered with Solera, who is going to be helping us launch a leadership
Our neighbors
academy
right there,
right next
Solera,
to you.
yeah.
Yes, and so it's really been important for us to find corporate sponsors like that
Yeah.
support us. Solera in particular has a leadership academy they have internally that we're now going to offer free of charge to our members. It's a 6-month program.
Nice.
And for us, that's really important because I said 6% of the automotive industry is women of color. If you go to a leadership level, I'm a unicorn. You better capture me and make sure you keep me safe, okay? And part of that is that there's this playbook on how to navigate automotive. There's training that I have been really blessed and lucky to receive in the corporations I've been in, like leadership training. Many of our members don't have access to that.
Right.
And so we feel really proud to work with partners like Solera, other companies like Chase and Cars.com, and Nissan and Kia and these companies at Cox Automotive that are going to be helping us.
You don't want to forget any of those key partners. You'd be in trouble.
Nervous. I almost forgot someone that are really helping us and supporting us financially to help us offer these programs to our members.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear about the latest progress. Kerri Wise, Chief Marketing Officer for AutoFi and a co-founder of WOCAN. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all your support.